floor nurse's desk.
Celia.
Dr. Cunningham.
Come here.
What's wrong?
Sit down. Better talk.
Why? What?
You're right.
About what?
Everything.
You mean about Grant Putnam?
He's as guilty as hell. At least that's the way it's starting to look.
But what happened?
We found the missing part of the puzzle. The part about my story that we couldn't explain.
About being knocked out.
The blow on the head was to put him out. The injection was to keep him out.
The injection? I don't understand.
Now, the problem was how Grant Andrews could have remained unconscious for 4 hours and then come to, feeling only a little bit groggy, but otherwise none the worse for wear.
And with no trace of drugs in his system.
I'll bite. How?
Phenobarbital.
That's a drug.
Right. An injection of which would not be detected in the bloodstream after 4 hours, but would keep him out for that long, after which he'd simply wake up. He'd feel a little bit groggy, but otherwise be okay.
Pretty neat, huh?
So Grant Putnam injected him with phenobarbital.
Well, that's just a guess, but we figured that's what must have happened.
So you believe me now? About everything?
Well, we gotta prove it.
How do we do that?
Good question.
The best thing for us right now is that Putnam remains a patient here for quite a while.
See, we're racing against the clock.
Methinks this one's gonna go right down to the wire.
What can I do?
All right. As soon as we determine where to start, we're gonna split up the legwork. And the most important thing for you at this point is to protect yourself. The best way for that to happen is if Grant Putnam stays in this hospital for as long as possible.
This is appalling.
You're telling me. A 4-run lead going into the 9th and they blow it. I mean, talk about choke artists.
No, not that. This.
Oh, look, if it's a bill, throw it with the rest. I'll get to him later.
This is worse than a bill.
Nothing is worse than a bill.
This is an invitation to an engagement party.
What's so appalling about that?
Celia and Grant Putnam. They went out yesterday. Hi. Are we alone?
Yeah. Holly's at the gourmet store.
Good.
You seem upset.
Well, it's just all this time I'm having to spend alone with Grant Putnam. Everything he says, everything he asks me has this accusatory ring to it.
You think he may be onto you?
No, I don't think so. Suspicious, maybe. He was very nervous about my trip to England.
I know, that's what this engagement's all about.
I had to prove to him I'm on his side.
It's a dramatic undertaking.
It was the only way, believe me.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're going to have to be very, very careful around him.
Yes, but don't worry. He's responding very well. All I have to do is bat my eyelashes and he rolls over like a lovesick puppy.
I'll assume that your reason for stopping by is more than to just get a reply to the invitation.
That's the excuse. The reason is to find out where you stand now on Grant Andrews' innocence.
So far, everything you've said checks out. It seems like a frame-up.
Finally an ally.
The clincher was the phenobarbital. It's the perfect explanation as to why Grant was out so long. It leaves no trace and is accessible enough to a man with Putnam's knowledge and expertise.
Then you're convinced?
Enough to continue the investigation.
But you've got the bench, the nightgown, and now this. What more do you need?
This time I've got to be a lot more thorough. If this thing's going to stick, I've got to uncover every lie that Putnam ever told.
Such as?
Like the time you thought you saw Tanya kissing your husband when Grant swore he wasn't there. Then there was this free ski trip, the accident on the mountain. It's all too coincidental.
Well, what can I do?
What I've been suggesting all along, lay low.
I can't do that.
You have to.
Why?
Because a job like this is best left to professionals.
Robert, normally I'd agree with you, but this case is entirely different. It was my testimony against Grant that put him in jail. Now, I can't rest until I help to get him out.
All right, Celia.
Let me take responsibility for this, please. I don't think I've ever taken responsibility for anything in my life before. I think it's about time I've started.
All right. But officially, I've got to state my objections.
Duly noted.
He's a dangerous man, Celia.
Yes, and fortunately for both of us, he's still in the hospital. which is why I think we should take this opportunity and act on these new points as quickly as possible.
All right. I'll start with this travel agency you obtained that free trip from.
Good. And while you're doing that, we'll meet with the dean of the medical school and see if that meeting at the browsing room could possibly have been arranged by Grant Putnam.
I don't have to tell you to be discreet.
It will be a very polite meeting.
Fine, but no matter what the news, you report back to me and me only.
I will. You're the only one I can talk to about this, Robert.
Good. Let's keep it that way.
Oh, this is a surprise.
Yeah, I said the same thing, love.
Hello, how are you, Holly?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, I couldn't be better. Did you get the invitation?
Yes, and if you have a minute, I've got a thing I'd like to say to you about it.
Well, this is where I bow out. Paperwork you wouldn't believe. Have a good day, love.
Bye. Well, where would you like me to start?
An explanation might be nice.
Robert Scorpio, Police Commissioner.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I'm making some inquiries regarding a ski trip you people organized last February.
This was for you.
No, the name was Andrews, Grant and Celia. I believe it was all expenses paid, and Mount Alpine was the final result.
It doesn't sound familiar to me.
I believe it was sort of a promotion.
As far as I know, we're not involved in that sort of thing. But then again, I wasn't with the agency in February.
Do you know who might have been responsible?
Yes, that would be Miss Block. She was in charge then.
Can I speak with her?
No, I'm afraid not. She left the agency in early spring to go to New York.
Is she still there?
No, she came back here looking for work. We didn't have an opening. I think she applied to the agency at the Port Charles Hotel, but she didn't follow through. It just so happens we got a postcard from her in Morocco.
Can I see it?
Yes, of course, I have it right here.
Lists her hotel.
Yes, she wanted us to forward her mail.
May I use your phone? I will bill it to police headquarters.
Be my guest.
Thank you. Normally I would make a call like this from home, but that's one place I'm trying to avoid at the moment.
Oh, problems?
Of the domestic variety.
Furthermore, I think your timing couldn't be worse. Get engaged, fine, but at least wait until the divorce is final before going public.
I had thought about doing that.
Well, in my opinion, not hard enough.
Well, there were other things to consider.
I'd love to know what.
I'm afraid it's none of your business.
Well, then what are you doing here? Why bother sending us an invitation if you knew I wouldn't approve?
I thought you would.
Well, then you obviously don't know me very well.
No, apparently not.
Celia, the trial is still fresh in everybody's minds. Besides that, you're still married to Grant. I mean, Grant Andrews. The door is just closed on him, and now you're involved with Grant Putnam.
Holly, I can't talk about it.
All I need is a logical reason to all of this.
You'll have to wait.
For what?
Things are just so involved right now, I can't discuss them. You're just going to have to trust me when I say that I know what I'm doing.
That is a lot easier said than done.
I have to go now. I have a meeting with the dean of the medical school. Holly, I'd hoped you'd be happy for me.
I wish I could say I was. I'm sorry, Celia.
So am I.
Hello?
Hello, Holly. This is Grant Putnam calling. By any chance, is Celia there?
No, she left.
Did she say where she was going?
Yes, she said something about going to a meeting with the dean of the medical school.
I see.
Is there anything else?
No, that's all. You've been very helpful. Thank you.